Wednesday, July 6th. And don't get me wrong, I'm still completely 100% in the summer state of mind, but it just so happens that this is the time of the year that our favorite candle companies release their autumn fragrances. The candle that I'm holding right here in my hand is one of the most anticipated fragrances by Yankee Candle for 2017. So let's just hit the pause button real quick. Let's take a brief moment, a break, and put down the ice cream cone. Turn down the Beach Boys or whatever you listen to, and just take off the bathing suit just for a minute. Take it off. I mean, don't take your clothes off. I mean, do what you feel is right. But I wasn't implying. Let's talk about autumn. Let's talk about autumn. Let's talk about Dazzling Red Maple. So with a name like Dazzling Red Maple, I think it's important that we ask ourselves a series of questions before we smell this. I think the question that comes to everyone's mind is, what is this supposed to smell like? Does this smell like a stroll through the forest, kicking up autumn leaves? Or does this smell like straight up red maple wood? Or maple syrup, you know, that sweet smell that's synonymous with breakfast? Or somehow is it a divine collision of all of these things together? And what about this adjective, dazzling? It's the first thing that caught my mind. Dazzling as in brightness and clarity? Or more as a remark, like something that's breathtaking or marvelous? Interesting. And red maple, the tree. Red maple, it is a variety of maple trees. It's considered softwood, so it's not really used for lumber, more used for making craft wooden objects, musical instruments, for example. But what's really important is that it doesn't have a distinguishable, unique aromatic profile. Not like oak or something like that. But it is used for the production of maple syrup. And it doesn't get its name red maple because of the color of the wood. It actually is called red maple because of the seeds, the twigs, the flowers, and of course the autumn leaves. So now that we have all of those questions rolling around in our mind, there's nothing else to do but to jump into this pile of leaves, dip into this maple experience. And today I'm going to be utilizing the Aroma Prison. If you don't know what the Aroma Prison is, check out the link in the description below. It'll tell you everything you need to know about the Aroma Prison. But pretty much, I'm going to take 5 grams of this tart, and I'm going to put it into a mason jar, lock that mason jar, drop it into a double boiler, let all of that wax melt so that all of the fragrance oil can volatilize, fill up the empty space in that mason jar, essentially locking all of the airborne fragrance inside. So here it is, Dazzling Red Maple, 5 grams, melted inside of this mason jar. So let's jump right into it. It's hot. So something I should mention is that I have smelled this tart cold, and I inadvertently saw Yankee Candle's fragrance notes for this scent, and I usually don't do that, but I think it's something that's important for me to say before we continue, is that this is not what I was expecting, and I would bet that for most of you this is probably not what you would expect either. You know, we have expectations when we hear a name like Dazzling Red Maple. Now, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing at all, but I do think it's an important statement to make before we continue. So let us start with our baking spices. Not a pumpkin spice, not an apple pie spice, not like a chai spice, but we are getting a significant ground ginger, allspice, and cinnamon. And something I've been noticing recently on Yankee Candle Autumn Fragrances, cracked black pepper, or peppercorn. Adds a little bit of that exotic nature, a little bit of spiciness, and it also gives it a little bit more of a cologne profile when you add that peppercorn. And fruit. Now, I would expect golden delicious apples, apple cider, baked spiced pears. But that's not really what I'm finding at all. Surprisingly, this is big on lemon zest. Yes, that very clean, very powerful, dominant lemon zest. And blood orange. Blood orange is going to give us more of that spiciness, to add to that potpourri effect. And bergamot is in Yankee Candle's description, and I don't doubt that at all, because this also has a very bright citrus note as well. So herbal, yes, camphor rich, and sage. Now, you got to be careful with sage because there's so many varieties of sage, and they all smell, taste, and act differently. I can't even keep track. This isn't a savory sage. This is more of like clary sage or white sage, which is more earthy and woody. And it has like a honey-like sweetness. And with that citrus, that spicy orange, blood orange zest, those herbal notes, and that sweetness, this is really starting to take a tea direction. And what really adds to that effect is the power of the floral notes. Now, the florals are what I really noticed about this candle first. Notes of dried lavender, dried jasmine, and if you look at Yankee Candle's fragrance notes, you're going to see something neroli. Neroli is made from orange blossom, but different from orange blossom oil because of the extraction technique. You're going to be using steam distillation for neroli, whereas orange blossom oil is made by using solvents. And the effect is neroli always has that more pungent, powerful floral smell. Orange blossom, a little bit more on the fruity side. Neroli is found all of the time in bath and body products. And keep that in mind, we're going to be talking about that in just a moment. And there is weight to this candle. A thick, heavy aroma of cedar and amber, and a very sharp musk. This isn't going to be your soft, powdery, floral white musk. This is going to be a little bit more of your aggressive musk. Not necessarily masculine, but still powerful. And that sharpness really does remind me a lot of the smell of insect repellent and almost the sensation of insect repellent, which, if you think about it, is actually not a bad thing at all. And let's throw some nostalgia in while we're at it. With that spice, with that sweetness, and I can't deny there's a little bit of this nuttiness in some form. Every now and then, I think for a moment that I'm smelling Honey Nut Cheerios. Buried somewhere deep in here is a box of Honey Nut Cheerios. I like it. So the overall effect to me is soap box. A wooden box soaked with the smell of floral, amber-rich, musky, soapy aroma. You know, if you've ever smelled Dial's Gold Bar Soap, you'll know what I mean. Or if you've ever come across a cologne or perfume with gold musk on the label, you might be familiar with this candle a little bit. So based on my descriptors, my evaluation, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking? Have you sniffed this candle? Have you purchased this candle? Have you burned this candle? And if you have, what was your experience? Dazzling red maple juxtaposed with the fragrance notes. Does it seem appropriate? Is it outside the box? If it's outside the box, does that intrigue you? All of these things I want to know. Please leave them in the comments below. If you don't already know, I read and respond to every single comment on my videos, and I would love to hear your thoughts and to just hear from you in general. Thank you so much for joining me on this evaluation. I've been waiting for this candle for a long time. It's great to finally get this one done. If you enjoyed the video, thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, maybe, just maybe, you might want to do that. Once again, thanks again for joining. I'll be seeing you guys real soon, but until then, be good. know what you're thinking, and I can probably guess what's been said already in your mind's mouth. How am I going to evaluate this scented candle when there's a lit scented candle right beside me? Well, this, my friends, is nothing but a nightlight. Now, you might be asking why I have a nightlight in my office, and that would be a pretty good question. Some people who visit the office are afraid of ghosts, goblins, ghouls, creatures of the night. But see, that's all kid stuff. I don't get scared of such things.